So, let me go to your mantra japa and what Maharishi said about it. I'm not trying to be his interpreter. Probably what he meant was, he didn't do the japa. For him it was not his path. But there are people who do japa. Japa is meant to internalize the mind from external factors, because the chanting of the japa brings the mind into a certain pattern and rhythm. The japa, the mantra used, need not necessarily have a meaning, nor do we need to think about the meaning, because then again speculation, theories, various things come into sound. So, if somebody chants Soham, for instance, or Hamsa, don't have to worry about what it means, or just do the Hamsa until it becomes automatic. Some people say that when it becomes automatic, it becomes mechanical. It's precisely, it should be mechanical. It should not go into theories and ideas. It should be like that. So gradually it becomes, what is the meaning of it being internalized is something very profound. Especially since it comes from Maharishi when he said it. So I want to tell you another story, real story, not my invented story. About a very saintly couple who lived 100, 150 years in Andhra Pradesh. The husband was so involved in his chantings and practices, and spiritually was also a great Vedic scholar, so on, that even though he married, they were quite young, he had no time for his wife. He looked after her, but there was no proper link or connection. He loved her, but so one day, the wife also was well read in many ways. She told him, look, according to our Shastras, they were from a Brahmin family. According to our Shastras, a marriage is consumed only when one has a child. It looks like this is not going to happen between you and me. I'm not complaining, but you are always involved in Brahma Sutras, chanting of the Samaveda. It looks like we don't have time for that, whatever is required. So what do you think about it? The husband said, yeah, you're right. According to the Shastras, yes, if you're married, marriage is consummated only when you have a child. All that I understand. But then who knows what kind of quality child will come to us. So I have a suggestion. He said, I will give you the Taraka mantra. That is their family mantra of Rama. You chant that regularly until it becomes automatic inside you. Until it comes to such a, this is the actual japa I'm talking about. Until the last thing that you will remember before going to sleep will be the mantra. Even in your dreams you will be chanting the mantra. And the first thing when you wake up will occur is that mantra. So, when you have reached that state, then we will consummate our marriage physically, biologically. Because I think you are such a pious and saintly woman that your womb is waiting for some great being. So she started. Within 1 year, she had mastered this chanting. She went to sleep. Last thing was the chant in her head. In dreams, she saw herself chanting the mantra. We woke up, the first thing that occurred in her mind was the mantra. So she came to him one day and said, I think I've done what you asked me to do. So they had a physical, biological relationship, and a child was born to them. That child was Sadashiva Brahmendra. The great saint Sadashiva Brahmendra. He was not only a Vedantin, he was a great scholar, he was also a great bhakta and has written numerous lyrics for bhajans and kirtans. One of his most famous is Pibare Ramarasa. Pibare Ramarasa means drink the rasa of Rama. So that japa, when you say ajapa japa, it should come to that stage. Then it's...
Ramana Maharishi also said that when it becomes internal and automatic, it leads to a dissolution of the mind.
The resolution of the
Mind.
Yeah, because the mind is no more speculating. It's only on the sound. From the sound to that is a very good bridge, good step. Probably what he meant.
So when the mind is dissolved completely, then the self should shine for period. Is that correct?
Need not should. Then there is only the self to shine. You can't put a condition, you should shine.
But sir, I had one more question that has escaped, which is that is it okay to chant internally a mantra while doing Kriya Yoga?
When you do Kriya Yoga, you already have a mantra going on.
And is it good to chant that mantra continuously till it becomes internal?
Yes, certainly. Some more questions are there, you can give it to me. Keep it with you, tomorrow we'll look at it one by one. This is serious. This is even more serious. Are we destined to marry the same person again and again? No. Life will be hell then. It depends on the husband. Anyway, we'll look into this tomorrow. But believe me, she was doing all the work required of her in spite of that. Seriously, she was doing all the work required. Including drawing water, bringing it home, without no taps, right? There are different kriyas, right? Different kriyas. So, out of living, they practice Sudarshan Kriya, which is also a Kriya. There is no harm in doing, but don't mix it up at the same time. Like if you do one in the morning, you do one in the evening, then you choose and see what really is helping you, and then you can drop the other and do this. There is no harm. What I am saying is, if at one sitting I start practicing 5 kriyas, khichdi, then it becomes... So, if you're doing one in the morning, do one in the evening. If you still feel like doing, no harm. It's absolutely fine. So you can choose, you can do, whether that is also okay. Then do the Kriya.
Just a follow-up question. So you mentioned about different types of Kriya. What?
No, 1 second. She asked me something and I forgot to tell. About the Japa, you asked me. You know what Japa, the word Japa is also called Smaran. Smaran in the Punjabi language is called Simran. Now there is a Simran Japa should be something that goes on whether you are in a good spot or a bad spot, not only at certain times. Then it becomes Japa. Dukh mein Simran sab kare, sukh mein kare na koi. You mean when you are happy, who cares about Japa and all that? When you are in trouble, when you say Japa, it should continue at all times, good or bad. It should be continuous. May I say something? Bhakti is not something that can be cultivated. It's a spontaneous uprising in the heart. Can't be cultivated. You can do many things, but bhakti is a natural and spontaneous expression of the heart. It can't be cultivated, first thing. Second, to your other question about jnana, marga and how can... I want to tell you that there is no dichotomy between the two. Because we know of great jnanis in our contemporary, not contemporary, just few years ago times, Ramana Maharishi is considered to be a jnani. His path of inquiry, of finding out who his true self is a jnana marga, normally. But why would such a person shed copious tears when the Shiva Purana is read to him? Why would such a person go to the temple of Arunachala and shed buckets of tears? Not buckets, I mean. What is it that is affecting his heart? So I think even through Jnana Marga, which is the path of inquiry, as you go deeper, your heart, instead of becoming stone, becomes soft. This is bhakti. It's not cultivated. You cannot cultivate bhakti. Now there are two ways it happens. One is when you hear someone who has experienced it speak about it, suddenly something happens here. Don't ask me what happens. There was a Hindi movie long ago, Kuch Kuch Hota Hai. Nobody knows what happens, right? It can't be cultivated. So when this happens, when you're listening to someone, that is the beginning of bhakti. Bhakti need not necessarily mean that you are singing kirtans or doing the hop, step and jump. Not necessarily. That also is okay, I mean. So, the other way bhakti can happen is when there is someone who has imbued bhakti or even jnana to its ultimate level. And in that presence, you feel something creeping into your heart. We don't know what it is. It's a feeling of, I don't know, sometimes you want to shed tears somewhere. Something is that. This is bhakti. Sometimes your hair stands on end. So this is why I suggest that since you are reading Gita and Upanishad, also please add one more book to your collection, the Narada Bhakti Sutras. Don't read it saying that I must cultivate bhakti. No, just read it and see what comes out of it. Then your first question was, I haven't forgotten it, Turiya and Samadhi. Turiya is a state which is understood and experienced through Samadhi. Samadhi is the go-between. In the ultimate Samadhi, which is called Nirvikalpa Samadhi, when there is no Vikalpa at all, when the mind becomes crystal clear and quiet, then there is only the Purusha reflected. There is no mind. This is Turiya. But it comes about through a trance state where first all the feelings outside world are contracted are lost and there is only the inner feeling. So that is savikalpa. It still has seeds in it, bijas. When those seeds of desire are also gone, then it becomes nirvija samadhi, which is also called nirvikalpa. There are no vikalpas, there are no modifications of the mind. So I think this is what I would like to tell you. But please don't forget to read the Narada Bhakti Sutras. Kriya can be done not only by the Visishtadvaita, not only by the Advaita, but also by the Dvaita. You didn't mention that.
Yes, it comes from
No. Now, in Vedantic teachings, we know mostly when you say Vedanta, people think of Adi Shankara. Because he is the most famous of the... So therefore, people tend to associate Vedanta with only Advaita Vedanta. Not true. Vedanta has many variations. This is interesting. Once I went to Harvard, and many years ago, and in the philosophy department, we had a talk. The subject was Vedanta. No, sorry, Upanishad. So I kept saying Vedanta. One of the professors was in the front row, not Indian, American. No Indian has asked me this question, sorry. He stood up and said, "Sir, I want to clarify. When you say Vedanta, which Vedanta are you talking about? Advaita or Visishtadvaita or Dvaita or those which are in between?" So, it's a wide subject, it's a wide canvas. Advaita, yes, but Ramanuja did a wise thing. He found that with the Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya theory, many things were becoming very dry. There was no heart. So he promulgated the Visishtadvaita. He said, Advaita, yes, but with a little difference. All the Sri Vaishnavas who do worship and rituals in Tirupati and all, they are all Ramanuja's followers. Because Advaita, you don't have to do anything, no? Even if the temple breaks and collapses, it's okay, Jagat Mithya. So Ramanuja said, okay, I understand that there is only one reality, one being. He said, instead of calling that reality Brahman, may I call it Narayana? What difference does it make? Narayana. That one reality. So that one reality is there in everything, understood. I am not a Visishtadvaita, I am not defending Raman, since the subject came up. So, he said, okay, so water is water everywhere. In the sea there is water, in the river there is water. In this little bowl you keep on your table, which is filled, is also water. Intrinsically, qualitatively they are the same. But you cannot run a ship on this bowl that you have here. Quantitatively difference. So he said that is Narayana and this is Jiva. But all the Jivas finally merge in the Paramatman. So in a way it is Advaita, in a way it is little differentiated. He said Jivas can be considered as the cells of the body of Narayana. Now each cell in our body is important. It has its own life. And at the same time it works as a whole, right? It can't work separately. Kind of thing. Madhva, of course, was a total Dvaitin. Today when we have ISKCON, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they all have derived from Madhva. Which means you cannot become God. That is separate, this is separate. What can you do? You can only purify your mind and through great devotion serve the Lord. And probably get a reflection of the joy of the Supreme Being. And nothing more. I think these are all different ways of looking at the same reality. In fact, when you begin, it's good to start with Dvaita. People who suddenly say, I am Brahman, get filled with ego too much, generally. So it's good to start like that, humbly, and then go forward. And you will come to the stage called Visishtadvaita. And then finally, you will touch the Advaita state where there is only one reality. Right? So what was your question?
My question was coming.
Kriya. So does Kriya apply to?
And if Kriya is what Nath Sampradaya, whether it is particular to only Advaita?
No. Natha Sampradaya is what has come to us from Machendranath. Machendranath is supposed to have learned his teachings, not supposed to, he learned it from someone whom we call Adinath. We consider Sri Guru Babaji as Adinath. And Adinath is none other than Paramashiva, the teacher. All the Nath Sampradaya books like Karanda Samhita, Shiva Samhita, they're all Shiva teaching Parvati, the great teacher. So, the Nath Sampradaya has no contention in these matters. You can be a Dvaitin, you can be an Advaitin, you can be a Visishtadvaita, you can still practice Kriya and perfect according to your belief systems. There is no problem out there.
Although I try to do my meditation when I am definitely not, I cannot sleep that time. I try to practice such.
There is a stage in deep meditation when it can, the division is threadbare, kind of as thin as a razor. You could shift this way or that way. So when the mind becomes absolutely calm, which means your mind is calming down, no question about that. And when the energies are peaceful and moving, either you could go into Turiya or you could subside into Sushupti. It's a very thin line. So one has to watch this carefully and make sure that you are not falling asleep. If you are falling asleep, there will be no awareness at all. If you are not asleep, if you are approaching what we call Turiya, then there will be perfect awareness, not of anything but that one reality. So, that also takes time to adjust and happen. Sometimes you get less sleep than more Samadhi. And then gradually Samadhi will increase and that sleep will go. Actually, if you experience the state of Samadhi, you don't need sleep. I also take rest for the body. But I don't sleep in the sense that I'm aware of all that's going on inside. But the body is totally at rest. I don't know how to explain this. It doesn't require sleep. Usually we want sleep because we forget everything. Even when you are awake, if nothing is bothering you, the need for sleep is done off with, except for the body. Body also requires some rest.
That's where is my biggest problem, and my family is suffering because of that. I'm just not able to sleep.
But you are okay, right?
I'm perfectly fine. No, I don't feel any...
Right. So that means you are moving somewhere.
We should just continue.
Please make the family peaceful. We have to survive, right?
Thank you.
You see, the mind and body are relaxed, so nice and blissful, so you feel like sleeping. Doesn't matter. Do you get enough sleep at night?
So, 9 out of 10 times I find myself sitting and doing my japa whenever I feel like it.
Do it.
Yeah, I do.
But make peace with the family.
My family sleeps when I'm meditating.
Good. That's even better.
It helps them to sleep when I'm
Nice.
for something.
Yeah, so because you're not interfering, right?
Is it okay if I keep those patterns on the way I
Sure, no problem. If you need to shift the patterns, I'll tell you. We'll see at the moment. Let it be. We wind up for the day, okay? That's all.
No, I had a question, but I can ask tomorrow also.
Very kind of you. So, that's it. Today's evening is over. I believe some people are singing bhajans. So there is a bhajan sandhya. After that we can depart. Tomorrow morning come prepared, which means don't have a heavy breakfast. We're going to do Kriya. Don't have a heavy, eat something of course, but don't have a heavy breakfast. Please have a bath, brush your teeth and all, and go to the toilet and come.